So, why does history matter in the education of military officers and naval officers? Why do historians help? Well, it all comes down to institutional memory, but we'll start off with some background and see if we can't get this all done in 3 minutes. You see, the modern officer course in many ways is far too short. It is defined and has been built up in relationship to the shortened courses introduced in World War II. So whenever it comes up as a debate as to what should be in the course, people start going, well, we need this, which means we need to get rid of that. And instead of going, well, maybe we need to add 4 weeks or 8 weeks onto the training course. Maybe we need to make it longer and give them more chance to learn more stuff, rather than taking out existing stuff. And the reason, again, history comes in is institutional memory. You see, if we consider amphibious warfare, it comes up quite a bit in naval history. If we're talking about experience since World War II, most of it's been raiding. Most of it has been small forces going in precision strikes. And so if someone says, I'm planning from my experience, their experience will be raiding, which is fine as long as you're doing raiding. But what happens if you're doing a large-scale amphibious assault, a large-scale intervention? If you're doing something along the lines of the Falklands War, which was larger than most, but not as large as it can be, or if you're doing something more akin to what your operations carried out during World War II. Who's got experience of that these days? And who's got the manpower and the budget to be able to keep an entire staff going of people with that experience? To just focus on operations of that size and scale? No one. So all we have is historians. And because whilst there is a large number of naval and military officers who can learn by reading, they just go and read the books of historians, there's a large number who can't. They are doers. And doers learn by doing. So that's where the thing called a staff ride comes in. And that's where you get a bunch of historians, veterans if available, as well, and serving officers who have a passion for the topic and an understanding of it, go together, and they take a whole load of young officers, trainees, or staff officers, as it's called a staff ride, and they take them around a battlefield, and they give them as close as an experience of it as they can. And this is supposed to preserve institutional memory. So that if ever the circumstance comes out that you do have to launch an operation, instead of you thinking, oh, well, a raid, this is what the beach I need, you might think, hang on, is this beach really suitable for a large-scale operation? Have an area behind it that I can marshal my logistics at. Does this area have the natural space? This might look good, this particular beach, and in some ways it is, but I wouldn't want to land more than a brigade on it. Why? It's not wide enough. There are enough runs up. I could put a brigade down here at a time, but that's about all I can get inland. So that's going to be a serious bottleneck if I'm trying to land a major force. If I'm just doing a divisional assault, it's probably fine. These are things which you think about when you're planning an operation which is larger than a couple of companies going in at most. And so this is the sort of stuff which comes up in history rather than experience, because how often do people do these operations? Even exercises these days. Usually it's you land a company and that's simulating you're landing a brigade or this, that, the other, and then you move on to the next phase exercise because it costs money and no one has the budget. So yes, there you go. Why history matters to naval and military professional education. In answer to the first question, we couldn't get it done in 3 minutes, but I hope the sped up version helped.